Hello everyone, welcome to the first Cornell EMI pitch competition. The goal of this competition is to give global visibility for startups from emerging markets. And that would not have been possible without the collaboration of our partner universities from all over the world. University of São Paulo and FGV from Brazil, Universidad de los Andes from Colombia, Universidad de San Andrés from Argentina, Tecnológico de Monterrey from Mexico, IIT Kanpur from India, Lagos Business School from Nigeria, Yonsei University from South Korea, and IE Business School from Spain. Today, you will watch the pitches of the 10 finalist teams, each of them representing their university. Then, we will have a feedback session with our judges, followed by the winner's announcement and a networking session where everyone will have the opportunity to interact with the startups. The evaluation is based exclusively on the pitches, and we will not be judging the business cases or the feedback session. Best of luck to all of the teams.
Hello everyone, my name is Jonghyun Lim. I am a CEO of Codexo. We are very specialized in environmental infection control, especially reducing coronavirus in healthcare setting. So in this slide, you can see the HAI, healthcare acquiring the infection, is very famous around the world, especially in healthcare setting. So US or UK, as well as Korea, they have their own problem of getting infection in healthcare setting. When we go to hospital, we are very easily exposed to the infection derived from the healthcare setting. It is derived from the hand of a healthcare worker, or it is derived from the medical device. So we have surveyed with these people, doctor, nurse, or a caregiver, and the staff, and they said to me that we have a very short of workers who are specialized in environmental infection control. Especially the cleaning staff, they said we didn't have any chance to get a training focusing on environmental infection control. And nurses said to me that we have no time to educate the cleaning staff related to the environmental infection control. Actually, the nurse said they didn't know about the environmental infection control. They just focused on the how to use a medical device, how to treat a patient. They don't care about the environment itself. So we could. So this is our roadmap for the business. First, we just started offline service based on consulting education or environmental monitoring. After establishing the corporation, and then we have two kinds of portfolio. First, offline service, and second is online service. Online service consists of education content. Education content has manual, reading material, and media, so they can read and see watching a video, which consists of our the performance derived from offline service. And then we have a plan to develop the software app service, which is exported into the global market. Our target global market is the US and China and Indonesia, because we have a partner in US. The name of partner is Nemi. So we are currently.
All right, guys, my name is Mateus. I'll explain Baduk. But for that, I want to tell the story of Fernanda. Fernanda, like many of her customers, she's a woman, a micro-entrepreneur. That means that she has a street business, a stall, from where she gets her money every month, but she is still ignored by the financial system. And let's see why that happens. So every time she needs money to invest in her own business, she turns to financial institutions who apply a traditional risk analysis on her, which can assess the ability for her to repay the loans assertively because she doesn't have enough data. This usually results in extremely high interest rates, which ends up limiting the growth of her business. So because of this problem, we've created Baduk, a company that has been changing the way that micro-entrepreneurs get working capital for their businesses. And let me show you how we're doing it. So every time someone needs a loan, we first apply what we call an alternative analysis, which extract both behavioral and psychological variables that we use not only to assess the risk, but also to understand the entrepreneur and who we're lending the money to. Once they get approved, we give them the first loan of 200 reais, which is also monthly, so it's due to 1 month, and it's progressive. Every time they pay on date, we increase their limit. And it's also important to say that our customers know the good payers. So this is why we've created our referral program, where payment on time affects not only the limit of the entrepreneur himself, but also the limit of who referred him. This is because we don't request collateral, but our collateral is their reputation. To achieve maximum simplicity, we do not set any interest rates. In place, we charge them a fixed fee that never varies and can be either 50 reais or 100 reais depending on the loan amount. Here's a quick overview of our product. The first image is the landing page, the second one is the analysis, and the third one is the user page where the customers can request a loan. I also want to say that Fernanda from the beginning of this presentation isn't just a character. She is actually one of our first customers from the MVP that we landed her 250 reais. In 30 days, she tripled the money, she bought a new stall, and recently she acquired an online business and everything because she's a recurring customer. Here's a little of a roadmap. So far, we've got some good numbers, we've closed some good partnerships, and now our focus is to scale the product to the whole country. Here's our founding team, which is very creative. Everybody has some startups experiences. We like to learn a lot and also solve problems. I'm sure we're good investments because first of all, we have a very customer-focused product. We help eliminate poverty through the loans. Many countries need our type of business, and our team likes to deliver stuff differently. Thank you so much for the attention. I hope you have enjoyed it. Bye.
Tissue Labs is the platform for creating organs and tissues in the lab. Over 2 million people around the world are in the waiting list for organ transplantation. 500 of them die every day because they cannot receive these organs. It happens because only 3 in every 1,000 people who die in a way that allows for organ donation. Tissue Labs is here to solve that. Our mission is to fabricate human organs for transplantation, and we are doing that with a very talented team. Me, Mr. Moreto, and Mr. Zilberstein are 3 renowned professionals in our respective fields. I'm a medical doctor with a PhD in tissue engineering and over 10-year experience with research. Mr. Moreto is an engineer with a master's degree in 3D printing, and Mr. Zilberstein is an economist, successful entrepreneur, and a father of a child with congenital heart disease. This brings me to the fact that Tissue Labs is more than a startup. It's a life project. I was also born with a congenital heart disease, and as someone affected by the problem to be solved, I always gave my best to someday be able to help other children like me. From this dream, Tissue Labs was born. The way we intend to get there is by creating the technology required to allow the fabrication of bioartificial organs in the lab. This, while we develop our own research lines, we also make these technologies available for the whole scientific community as products. We call it a dual business model. Today, we already have 3 product lines available in the market, being used by dozens of labs around the world, not only in Brazil and Latin America, but also in the US and Europe. One of these products is TissueStart, our low-cost 3D bioprinter that is allowing scientists to enter the field of biofabrication and join us in this mission to make organs readily available. To illustrate that, I will show you a demo of TissueStart 3D printing a nose. We chose a blue bioink to allow better contrast and consequently understanding of the mechanism of TissueStart. That's it. I hope you like it and join our drink to make artificial organs something real, not more science fiction. Thanks.
Krishnam Technologies presents Dhara Flow Meter Instrument, a novel innovation in the field of water management systems. The instrument is equipped with functionalities way beyond measuring water flow. Our top priority is to develop flow meters that address present challenges faced, whilst effectively and effortlessly measuring water flow in the areas of drinking water supply, automation, and others. There are thousands of users who need to track this information on an hourly, daily, and monthly basis. And Dhara Flow Meter instrument infuses new hope to water managers and precision to data-driven decisions.
After the government imposed a regulation to monitor and record the daily water uses, the flow reading have to be collected every day manually and the logbooks have to be kept proper. Any discrepancy might lead to a penalty or sometimes even termination of the factory license. Being a leader, it is important to maintain the efficiency of the process. We can't visit all the sites personally throughout the day. There is a need of a track process remotely from office or from home through a mobile phone or something handy to ensure everything is being done as per the protocol.
We rigorously tested different aspects of the Dhara flow meter under different flow conditions. We found that the Dhara flow meter has low margins of error and an impressive data transmission model. The most remarkable feature of the Dhara flow meter is its simple but robust design, which makes it appropriate for long-term unattended flow measurements.
We are huge believers of leveraging science and technology in all that we do. Dhara Flow Meter is designed in such a way that the user can access real-time data via a web-based system and can also get SMS alerts about flow measurements. This brings to the table a unique means of empowerment to the users by encouraging data-driven decisions. The instrument is an ultrasonic full-bore flow meter which does not have any moving parts. Thus, the instrument has no pressure loss and has a longer life. The instrument is conveniently available in both battery and AC power options. And yes, our instrument is FCRI certified.
My experience in measuring water flow has been changed for the better. My interaction with the device is minimal and all relevant data that previously had to be manually noted and accessed through the logbook is now available on my mobile device just at my fingertips. It was a wise decision to invest in Dhara Flow Meter.
Despite the huge impact of e-commerce in Africa, over 90% of retail transactions are still executed via informal retailers at an average transaction size of less than $1. These informal retailers are often faced with difficulty in restocking their shop, limited financial resources, and low access to business trainings. So we developed TradeRates, an on-demand service platform aimed to democratize ordering and delivering for small retail stores in emerging markets, using data-driven technologies, mobile communication, and payments. TradeRates uses a multi-brand supply chain network via a dark store model that ensures last-mile delivery to retailers within 24 hours. It provides multiple channels for order placements and aims to build a retailer community that delivers financial schemes and relevant programs to help these petty traders succeed. One of the tools of TradeRates is Storehouse, our in-house dark store management portal that aids key warehousing processes and last-mile distribution to retailers. Items are listed via the SKU management feature and POs are created via the purchase order feature. TradeRates was launched in February 2020 and has already achieved some amazing milestones. We run a low margin, high volume model, and our revenue sources include commission on each product sold and rebate from manufacturer brands. The COVID situation has also presented some good opportunities, which include sales growth due to increased demand on essentials and groceries, restricted movement and closure of main markets, as well as opportunities in payments, trader loans, thrift and collection due to the partial closure of banks, which has also restated the need for more digital means of cash handling and contactless payment forms. As regards our team, Abidemi is the country manager and is in charge of product growth and strategy. Oluwasegun is in charge of sales and partnership and currently an MBA student at the prestigious Lagos Business School. Joseph is the CFO and is in charge of all finance offerings to retailers. Samuel is in charge of process development, operations execution, and excellence. This is Trader Tent, and we aim to re-engineer retail in Africa.
Hi, we are Easy Trademarks, a platform which empowers brand owners to protect their trademarks in emerging markets. Currently, the process is bureaucratic, time-consuming, confusing, and restrictive. This is how we found our opportunity, topped with the increased attention to innovations locally, changes in consumer behavior, and improved economic factors. So we launched Easy Trademarks, a platform which is reliable, accessible, easy to use, and saves a lot of time and money. Let me show you how it works.
After choosing the country and the service, the platform takes you through a series of guided questions, allowing you to register your trademark in 5 quick and easy steps. If there's a question you don't know, you can hover over it to understand or use our resource center. You can also reach out to one of our customer service reps who would love to help you.
Now that you have seen how easy it is to use the platform, we would like to share our rationale for launching the business. There are 13.1 million trademarks filed internationally, with 9.9 being filed in emerging markets, the top 30 emerging markets, our addressable market. According to our business plan, we will be responsible for 200,000 trademarks within 5 years, 2% of this market. Naturally, your next question is how? Well, first, we have our team. They are diverse, cohesive, and have a long-standing reputation in the field. They know the process, and they have more than 30 years of combined experience. This experience has also led to superior partnerships, which will provide us direct local access and the ability to fully automate and integrate the process. We will have 3 sources of revenues: revenues from trademark registrations, legal consultations, and our proprietary technology licensing.
Our target audience are mainly individuals, startups, SMEs, and law firms. They all share the passion for innovation and success. Acquiring our customers will be done organically via dedicated social media, through investments and partnerships built. We have phased out our expansions, starting with the Arabic countries and growing into emerging markets through phases. The team is synonymous with our platform. We all share the same vision and look forward to servicing our clients.
We have invested around $50,000 to date and are looking for partners to join us in the journey. We're raising $1.5 million for marketing, improving our platform, and growing our team. We hope you join us on our journey. Thank you.
Hi, so I'm Juan Pablo Rey from San Andres University in Argentina. I come to present GameGram. So GameGram is basically the platform we built to allow gamers from Latin America to compete in tournaments of their favorite online games for prizes and cash. The issue we see is there's no middle ground in gaming. You basically have to be either a full amateur and just play for fun, or be a pro esport player. So we see a big opportunity there, and basically we built a platform to allow people to compete in tournaments for something more than just winning. So let me show you the platform. Okay, so here's the website. Well, it says compete and win in Spanish. These are the games you can play tournaments of. So you can search tournaments here. And basically you can enter for an entry fee and earn prizes and cash. In this case, it's cash. We also organize B2B tournaments, in this case with League of Colleges and several sponsors. So here you can see the brackets, the rules for the tournament. And once you register, the site directs you to a Discord chat so you can coordinate your next match with your opponent. Once you're done, you upload the picture, and with AI, we know who won and by how much. Okay, so back to the slides. So as for the business model, as I said before, we organize tournaments. The B2C ones have a take rate of 20-30% of the entry fee pool, and we also have sponsor prizes to reduce costs. As for the B2B tournaments, they're paid by the organizations we make them for, and also by sponsors. As for the market, it's a big opportunity. It's a $2 billion opportunity in Latin America. And just a 5% of penetration is going to mean $62 million in yearly revenue. So as for the scalability of the model, it's a fully automated platform thanks to the use of AI and chatbots. So the key issue here is we see there's no one focusing in the region, and we want to become the #1 gaming platform, creating a huge network of gamers that can share their results and form teams. So as for the competition, our key points here are basically we have a great UX. We want to add gamification and an ELO system. And we don't rely on game APIs to know the results, thanks to the use of AI. So as for the team, it's Javier Cuesta, which is the COO and co-founder, and I. We're both passionate about gaming and have a great advisor, which is Sasha Spitz from Yahoo Ventures, a venture capital. So thank you.
Have you ever wondered how come we have access to almost the whole humanity knowledge in our phone, but yet we cannot even look up or verify our every morning cup of coffee provenance or origin? In this era of data, the unique information of consumption products is still based on marketing stories. That means that for most of the population, the origin and transparency of the consumption products is still unavailable. Let's change this.
We are attempting to provide auditable information regarding the coffee industry. We have already managed to do so with our important client, Juan Valdez. Food traceability market worth around $11 billion currently. In the coming 5 years, 95% of supply chain companies will implement blockchain as a service solutions. Same rules applies to the local market. Our solution is a B2B model, a blockchain platform that grants security, transparency, immutability, and accountability through the entire supply chain process, since harvesting to the cup of coffee. It gives the coffee a know your food story behind it that could read through a QR code. It contains a certificate of origin with GPS location, temperature, name of the farm, humidity, and tampering. Our end customers are brokers, exporters, roasters in the coffee industry. The solution can be integrated with any ERP system insofar as it's interoperable. Our revenue stream comes from, first, implementation fees of the platform, and secondly, technical support given in a monthly subscription payment fee basis. We are business partners of IBM and Ethereum Enterprise Alliance. We have access to the exporters database named Latest Comics in Colombia. We seek a $50,000 investment for the 15% of the company. We predict our growth rate to be twice its current valuation in a 2-year period. And in a 2-year horizon, we're planning to raise a Series A round for investment.
Mainly, we need the funding to complete a front-end, middleware, and back-end integration to provide to our clients a blockchain and legal solution. This implementation has the purpose to build smart supply contracts, to automate the process, and to accomplish industrial scalability. Let's bring transparency to the consumption products industry worldwide.
Welcome to OpenTab's pitch presentation. OpenTabs is a free browser extension that empowers users to passively do good. In the space of 2 clicks, 15 seconds, any user can start passively generating funds that are used to provide microloans to people in emerging markets. OpenTab's core idea is to do good, to empower users to engage with the platform, either passively or actively, and generate funds to alleviate consequences of poverty. We want to capitalize on younger generations that are socially and climate aware and prove that no action is too little. Funds come from a non-invasive ad. Each open tab generates 1/10 of a cent, and users can start passively creating an impact immediately after registering. With all the above said, let us show you how to become part of our community. You simply have to type opentabs.org, download the extension, add it to your browser, register your name, and start passively generating an income for social causes. It's as simple as that. Once you're registered, you immediately generate such impact. And for every tab you open, you're doing good. We want to attract individuals, but also companies, so they can install the extension in personal and corporate computers. We've partnered with Kiva for microloans and Rainforest for biodiversity causes.
OpenTabs is more than just a plugin. It's an entire digital ecosystem of growth channels. Currently, we offer an online shop, raising money for additional microloans, and a volunteering partnership for students. In the near future, we plan to release a flight scanner, which automatically calculates the cost to offset the environmental impact of a flyer's journey with an opportunity to donate the amount at checkout. Additionally, we're developing a search engine and an entire web browser. In the past 6 months, we have seen over a 2,500% increase in users, having acquired 1/3 of those in the past month only, demonstrating strong scalability and capability to expand. The OpenTabs team is engineered for sustainable and rapid growth. With members from North America, South America, and Europe, we gain an international outlook, optimally enabling OpenTabs to serve those in need all around the world. Furthermore, our team members have a variety of backgrounds, including financial, legal, entrepreneurial, technological, management, and operations.
The core of OpenTabs is about having a positive impact, and we see microloans as a great vehicle to drive that impact. We believe in the power of these loans, not only because they meet a need, they stimulate economic growth, development, and sustainability, the same as it's done in developed economies. We aren't giving handouts, we're giving a hand up and providing the financial tools needed to grow economies. We see empowerment as the greatest source of change, and we're providing that empowerment. When it comes to making the world a better place, competition is a good thing. Although we have many competitive advantages, the simplicity of our business model and product offering are the most disruptive. We allow users to support people around the world and make a change by only making a minimal change in their lifestyles, as seen in the demonstration. OpenTabs is at a great point for investment. Our platform is operational and already producing results. Further investment will allow us to scale quickly, resulting in further reach, increased valuation, and increased impact. Thank you for your consideration.
According to Food and Agriculture Organization, 45% of the fruits and vegetables produced worldwide are wasted. This is why our customers, producers, and distributors of fruits normally use cold rooms in a controlled atmosphere. However, it represents an exaggerated use of carbon dioxide and an excessive use of energy, representing high cost for them. During this time of conservation, the fruit is vulnerable to infection by fungi and bacteria, and there is also a loss of its color, flavor, texture, and aroma. If this were not enough, when the fruit comes out of the cold room, the shelf life of the fruit is reduced. This is why I assured that a large part of the fruit from your homes goes directly to the garbage. For this reason, we allow post-harvest technology that allows fruit growers to prolong the life of their fruits, maintaining their quality and extending their freshness. It is a cluster made up of enzymes applied in a gaseous way during the storage or transportation of the fruits, for example in cold rooms, trailers, or containers for exportation. When safe fruit is used, the softening and the color development of the fruits are delayed, and because safe fruit acts in a specific and natural way, it is not toxic for humans, neither for the environment. We currently have 5 pending patents oriented to delay the ripening process of avocado, tomato, papaya, apple, and banana. We have identified our competitors, and Safe Fruit differentiates itself by increasing the life of the fruit by 130%, by promoting energy savings and providing extra protection against post-harvest diseases. There is an investment of $2.2 billion in post-harvest technologies, and despite this, close to 50% of the fruits and vegetables produced worldwide are wasted. This is why our solution is used by producers, distributors, and exporters of fruits. We currently carry out direct sales and also through 5 distributors located in the agro-industrial areas of Mexico. A part of our leads come from digital campaigns and others from agrotech massive events in which we participate. We have strategic partners like producers associations of apples, Mexican avocados, and bananas. We have a consolidated work team made up of scientists, agronomists, and producers with experience in fruit commercialization. Likewise, we have a board of advisors and mentors who are pioneers of the development of entrepreneurship in Mexico and Latin America. There are some milestones that we wanted to share with you. Some fruit exporters have shipped very perished fruits from Mexico to 6 different countries for the first time when Safe Fruit was applied. Before, this was impossible and these particular fruits were sent by air. We have been validating our business model with sales for 1 year and a half, and more than 7,000 tons of fruits have been treated with our technology. Thank you for your time. We are really happy to share a little of Safe Fruit with you.
Welcome back, everybody. Now we are gonna start our feedback session with the teams and the judges. Each team will have 3 minutes for feedback and Q&A. And we're gonna start with Codexo. And I want to invite Chip Silverman to give feedback to the team. Chip, please introduce yourself and you can start asking your questions.
Sure. Is my my videos okay now? Great. Hi, I'm Chip Silverman. I am in international business development and market strategy for a company called Bloom Energy, which is a venture-backed startup out in Silicon Valley, working on some energy devices. So, with Codexo, I think the judges and myself, we were very clear on what the problem is, and you did a great job explaining that. COVID-19 is obviously a very pressing issue for everybody in the world right now. I think one thing we'd really like is we'd like to get more information about your solution and your potential customer. Things that we want to know is how is your solution uniquely solving the problem of your potential customer, right? And then I think it's very important when you're looking, to understand, you need a bit of competitive intelligence. So what are your customers currently doing to solve this problem? And then, more on the monetization side, we're interested in the business plan. How are you planning to make money? And what is in it for the investor? So those are a couple of the big feedback points based on the rubric. And I guess I would just turn it over to the team at this point if they want to detail some of that. Again, the judges were very impressed and happy. It's a big pressing issue, but we want to know more about your specific technology, solution, and potential customer.
Thank you for your question, and I'm Junior Lee of from Yonsei University. When it comes to the solution itself, actually we currently discuss with Johns Hopkins Medicine Research regarding the master collaboration agreement. That means that our first target is the hospital itself, but now we changed our client target. The target client is the clinic company itself. So most hospital doesn't want to spend a lot of money to invest the environment infection control, but the hospital said to me that they just want the clinic company to perform the environment infection control. So we just changed our client target from hospital itself to clinic company. And our solution is that we combine the biopharmaceutical cleaning technique into hospital itself. So I just worked for the Certrion, the biosimilar company in South Korea. So I'm a representative of cleaning program manager in Certrion. So I might have a lot of the background related to the infection control. So I just quoted this technology into hospital itself. So with related to the scale strategy, we just started the offline service, but now we just changed the offline service into online service, which means we can educate with clinic disinfection manual, with watching video into our potential customer over the world. Actually, let me give you an example of our potential client is that after opening the exhibition in South Korea, and a lot of customer and visited our booth, and they just wanted to collaborate with me because Codexo must be proved as an expertise in infection control, focusing on environment in the healthcare settings.
Okay, that's helpful. I think, again, it's important. Have you done any research or understanding of how the customer is solving this problem currently?
Yeah, I'm sorry, cannot answer for it. Currently, our customer just intend to believe that the clinic company can serve the infection. So I just want to ask them, oh, is it really okay for the clinic company to control the environment infection? And the hospital said that actually they didn't believe, but they just intend to believe. So I think that it is very most important pain point during the hospital. So currently, in South Korea, most clinic company or quarantine disinfection company just spray the disinfectant into the air, but the aerosol is very severe problem into safe to all the people or including a patient. But we just rectify the how to disinfect environment, the surface, how to disinfect the air. So we just changed their the privilege or their mind into the right method with the clinic disinfections.
Great. Well, thank you for helping us clarify some of these, and good job on your presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now I want to invite Mario Saravia, our judge.
Hello, how are you? I don't know if you can hear me. I think there was a connection problem, but can you all hear me? Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. And sorry, there's a little bit of background noise here in New York. Apparently there's some news coming in regarding the election, so I apologize if there's pans in the background and people screaming. But let's keep the politics aside. I wanted to give feedback to the team from the Brazilian company, Baruch. I think that the judges panel were very impressed with this company. And a little bit of background on myself. I work for UBS and cover the Latin America financial technology and financial services division, specifically for M&A and coverage in the region. So I've been in touch with a lot of companies or similar in this field, and I think that you guys are doing a great job in appealing to a certain group of customers, and it's a very interesting business proposition. There are a couple of questions that we had regarding the business structure, and I wanted to convey our thoughts and hear what you guys have to say regarding it, and also perhaps give you some pointers on what we're seeing, at least in the region and in this industry. So to begin, I think that as you probably know, in Brazil, this is an industry that is very competitive, even though it's a very unique proposition, and you're looking at a very unique type of customer. It is an industry that now has gathered a lot of entrants, and there's a lot of interest in this type of platform. So we understand that you guys are doing great with your pilot program, and you're starting to gain mass. But one of our main questions would be how to grow that and how to differentiate yourselves to the other main players in Brazil, especially those that now have achieved critical mass and probably from a scale perspective would be challenging to compete with.
So first of all, we focus on market niche that are small entrepreneurs. So as you say today, there are a lot of banks, a lot of fintechs surging in Brazil, like Nubank, which is I think it's the largest digital bank in the world. There's a lot of competition, a lot of attention in this market, but we focused on one niche and one problem, which is small business that need money to grow their business. So what differentiates us from the other banks is that they offer loans as loans. So you need the money, you use it, and then you pay back. We give the money to our clients or customers so that they can invest in their businesses, grow, and then pay us. So we are proposing a different business approach, and although we only are focusing on this market, there's a problem in all Latin America, which is lack of access to credit due to lack of financial data. So this is one of the problems that we are differentiating from the competition.
Thank you for that. And that brings me to the other question that we had. So when it comes to looking at the problem, right? You're saying you're focusing on a particular niche, and I would challenge you guys to or want to hear your thoughts on how are you being able to collect the data to make an educated decision as to who you would lend to. I understand you have a model, a scoring mechanism, and I think it would be very helpful for people that are listening or thinking about investing to get a little bit more into the details of what your model looks at. Every company, Nubank and all these others have their own models that they develop and usually update on a quarterly basis because they have a lot more data, have a lot more clientele, and it's machine learning based and so forth. So how are you guys going to approach this model that you're looking at, and what are the variables that are different with your model that the big ones are not considering? And that would be a great selling point and give a lot of insight on how you guys are thinking about the problem.
All right. Yeah, I guess Guilherme is facing some problems with his microphone, but I'm gonna answer this. So we're approaching this what we call the alternative variables. So we collect those psychological variables. So we analyze how our customers think, and we haven't seen that much in Brazil. So the other companies like Nubank and the other big players here, they are collecting at most, like for example, Facebook variables. So they connect to APIs and extract a lot of variables, and they integrate this to their models. But we're also populating our model with some different analysis that we can find some studies like this that we call behavioral. So like what we call the Big 5 personality test. This is one that we use. So this has correlation with credit. So it gives it improves very much the model. So this is one thing that we're doing. And Guilherme, if you want to compliment me, please.
Can you guys hear me? Hello?
Yes.
Okay. So as Matheus said, we are not just using the traditional financial data that normal banks use to score their clients, but we're also using some psychological data. And for that, we're using some more, how can I say that? Alternative ways, to extract the data. So for example, we can measure impulsivity by doing some questions that don't really have a right or wrong answer. And that's one of the ways that we make it so the client can't really cheat on our test.
Thank you. That's really helpful, and I think that's really where the differentiator will be important. So I would actually invite you to highlight this in your presentations and whenever you're pitching, although you did, but make it, because at the end of the day, nowadays you can go and buy models, right? And just anybody can buy a white label and put it together, but that's your secret sauce. I'm not saying show your secret sauce to everybody, but those differentiators are the ones that I'm sure that investors will be looking at. And the last thing I would invite you to consider is your financial aspect and how you're looking at your projections and how are you making money, right? I understand that you charge a flat fee and that's how you're approaching this. Perhaps that's working at this moment, but once you gain critical mass, we were wondering, how are you thinking about the financial feasibility of this model, and if you eventually have considered changing that into an interest based on the risk scoring, because that would be what I would think of, right? If you have a very, very precise scoring methodology based on these characteristics that you're saying, you would want to probably gauge your interest rates based on that rating and not just charge a flat fee. But just a question that comes to mind, and ideally, if you can address that, it would be more clear as to what the monetization process is.
Thank you, Mario. And I would invite you to continue this conversation during our networking session after the winner's announcement. And now we need to move on to the feedback to Team Tissue Labs. So thank you, Team Baduk. Thank you, Mario. And I want to invite Chip Silverman back to talk with Team Tissue Labs, please.
Hi, Team Tissue Labs. Again, if you weren't here before, my name is Chip Silverman. I work in business development and international strategy for a Silicon Valley based startup working in clean tech with a lot of about $1 billion worth of venture funding. Just a bit of reference about me, more importantly though, about you guys. The judges were very impressed with your presentation. We really liked it, and the time-lapse video was fantastic. So first off, congratulations. Tissue printing is obviously a huge problem, and there's a lot of potential here. So we applaud your ambition in looking into this area. However, we would note that you're likely competing with multi-billion-dollar healthcare companies all over the world, as well as government-funded research initiatives and the best of the best university research as well. So the first question I would like to pose to you is just, how do you plan to compete against these kind of big titans that you're going up against? This is a bit of a David versus Goliath.
Yeah, so thank you very much for the opportunity. So I believe that we are trying not necessarily to compete, but to join forces. So what we are doing at Tissue Labs is constructing the technologies that other people can use, that we also use inside of our own company, but that other people can use and develop tissues using these technologies. And then we can bring these people together and even the developments that these researchers in academia and are doing, because at this point it's not much something related to the big pharmas or big companies. It's something more into development in academia. It's very new. It's something that will take some decades to come to clinical practice. So we believe that we can partner with these people and bring the knowledge that they develop inside of the company.
Yeah. And it's already happening. These big titans that you mentioned, they actually are our clients, and they look for us, and of course our competitors. But this is something very new, and since we are from the academic world, we have this innovation that will allow a faster development.
Sure. Yeah, and I'm very familiar with kind of academic-driven innovation. Like my company's technology originated from NASA and also from several large research universities in the U.S. But I think that the question you have to ask yourself then is, how are you going to monetize this, right? And I'll throw that back to you. You have a great technology. Nobody is doubting that, right? And there's a lot of potential here. But how are you going to get people to pay for this? Right? Because that's twofold. That's going to fund you guys as you continue to develop. But as an investor, it's also important because I want to know how I'm going to make my money back and then make a return. So let me turn that back over to you guys.
Okay, so right now, as mentioned, we have like this kind of dual business model. So we are already selling these hydrogels that are bioinks to produce these organs, and also the equipment that are the bioprinters. And while we do that, we develop our own tissues. So in the future, we aim to commercialize these tissues as like medical devices, like something that the patient can receive to treat a disease. So it will be commercialized that way. But while we cannot get there, we are already generating revenue by using these technologies and putting them in the market as products. So and of course we will need more investment, like from private investment, but this kind of business model that we have reduced the need for several injections of money, so we don't have to dilute so early, so we can keep growing without the need of so much money from the beginning.
That's helpful. And so it sounds like in Brazil right now, you are already having some source of revenue. Is that right?
Exactly.
Yeah, not only, yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's important to state that. So we sell for customers in Brazil, but also for customers in the entire world, Europe, US, and Latin America. Sorry. But we also plan to collect on some low-hanging fruits. So our products now, they are basically for research. Academics and drug companies, they purchase the bioprinter and the bioink. But also we plan to address some markets that can benefit from our products for human use, not the entire organ, but regenerative medicine and skin products, so things that can be marketed much earlier. And we've planning our launch in 2021 already.
Very exciting. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Eduardo. Thank you, Chip. And we should move on to our next startup. Now I want to introduce everybody to Kritsnan Technology. And I want to continue the conversation with Chip. So Chip, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Yep, I just introduced myself and I think you guys were here, so I'm going to spare you that again. But if please let me know. Generally, we were very impressed. Water management is a big issue in the world, particularly in India. It is an important issue as well. So from the problem, I think we understand that. We're clear on that. We appreciate you guys explaining that very well. And your technology, obviously being internet connected, sort of taking advantage of IoT trends, data collection trends, right? You're obviously alleviating the need for a lot of manual labor. It's all fantastic. But my first question, and the judges panel's first question to you would be, who is the customer here? Who are you going to sell this to? How are you going to sell it? And how much are you going to sell this for?
Right. So I'll answer that. So we have two segments of customers. One is B2B, business to business, and the other one is B2G, business to government. So there are around more than 1 crore, which is like, so 100,000 industries in the country, who are the bulk users of waters. So they are our first target of customers. And in the second, we have the governments, the water supply schemes, the both urban and rural water supply schemes does require this water flow meters for effective management of the water within their premises. So these are the two customer segments we have. And typical price we sell our meter is around 30,000 to 40,000 rupees. So this is typically around $500 per instrument.
So to add on to that, we have recently discovered a new market in which all government regulation says that all Indian industries have to reduce their water footprint by 20%. So now by installing these flow meters at multiple places within the industry, we're conducting live water auditing, thereby suggesting industry advisories in terms of making themselves more disciplined in terms of water usage and reduce the water by 20% without investing so much on changing infrastructure. So just by enabling disciplined water usage, the studies say that we can reduce up to 40%. We are seeing, we are visibly seeing that right after the implementation, a decrease of around 20% of the total water footprint.
Great, that's helpful. And I appreciate hearing some concrete numbers around pricing and who the customers are in the segments, and that there's a sustainability and water efficiency play here as well. But I would actually drill deeper into that and say, who in these organizations are you going to try to contact to sell, right? That's what you really have to think about when you're trying to go to market with a product like this, right? Are you calling, a facility engineer? Are you calling, the CFO? Who is it, right? And how are you going to do it?
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, so currently we are calling the general manager of the industry. We have reached from both from the bottom up and top down. We saw that when we reached from the top down, the CFO and CEO makes us meet the general manager, the technical general manager of the company. Even when we go from the bottom, we end up meeting the technical general manager. They are the decision maker, and they are the one who also allows the payment.
Okay, that's helpful. And then, so pulling on that a little bit, the business case here, you said 30 to 40,000 rupees, about $500 US. How many of these do you think you can sell? Right?
So in each,
give me some financial metrics here.
So with respect to the industry market, currently there are 3.5 million industries in India, which uses more than 100 KLD and falls under this regulation. And for each industry, we are currently deploying around 15 instruments. So the cost is 15 into 500, around $500, around $7,500 as a capex cost, and a yearly subscription fee of $1,000. So this is the current costing.
Yeah, and those are very helpful. And having that subscription, right, that SaaS type revenue,
right,
will help to make the cash flow more predictable for you and invest in R&D, right? All those things are helpful.
That's right.
No, we appreciate that. And then the last thing I would say, what sort of competitive intelligence have you done? Market intelligence, competitive intelligence. What are the companies, making these products right now? How are people solving these problems?
Right. So the market is divided among the three different segments. In products, there are sensor manufacturers. In India, there are a couple of sensor manufacturers, but most of the sensors are being imported from the Europe, US, and China. And second, these people integrate the sensors with the communication modules and make it into a whole package. And third, you have these water auditors or hydrologists or hydraulics engineer who helps the industry with a consultancy. So here we are trying to mix all three segments and provide an end-to-end water management solution to the industry. In India currently, there is no competitor who provides end-to-end solution, but there are players who provide each of these segments independently.
Thank you. Congratulations and good job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Now I invite Team Trader Tent, and to give feedback to them, I invite Judge Luciana Tsukada. Luciana, if you can please introduce yourself and give your feedback to Team Trader Tent.
Hello, my name is Luciana. I'm representing an international accelerator based in Chicago, IDL. And well, actually, we're working with internationalization. We are beginning on Brazil, but we are also talking with other countries such France, Canada, and I don't remember. So the Trader Tent was pretty good among all of the judges, and I want to congratulate you for assuming this huge challenge. And I have some questions regarding the delivery, like how do you deal with logistics? Because this is, I noticed that you have good, great, huge manufacturers with you, but how do you deal to deliver all the goods to the small businesses that you're working with? Wow, starting with this question, sorry.
Okay, so as regards to delivery, as stated earlier in the pitch that we run like a dark store model. So what we do is on a daily basis, we have like a minimum stock that supplies 3 days of need for our retailers. So with a minimum stock that supplies 3 days of needs, we can actually receive orders from the retailers. Once we receive orders from the retailers, we have a mandate to deliver to them next day. On a daily basis, we would always receive a restock from the manufacturers. And anytime there is a request from our retailers to supply, the next day we give it to our drivers. We have our own in-house drivers that actually pick up the goods from our warehouse and go on a particular route. We have defined routes for all our drivers. So on a daily basis, they would move in their particular route and they will go and supply to all the guys in the defined routes. So it's more like last mile retail using micro fulfillment centers. Just to give you further insight on that, because it's like a very big city, I'll take Lagos for example. Lagos is a very big city. We have divided the Lagos into like different clusters. So for each cluster, there's like a micro fulfillment center that does fulfillment to retailers with a driver traveling not more than like 100, like maybe like a 60 to 80 kilometer radius.
Okay. And but in this case, you're working in a specific region, or you're what's your go-to-market strategy? Like you're planning to work locally, or you're already working with other countries? How are you doing?
So currently we're only in Nigeria, and even in Nigeria we're only in Lagos, and we've started with a very small city in Lagos, a small community in Lagos. This small community has about 1,000 retailers, and I think about 1,500 retailers, and I think we've only onboarded about 400 of them. The goal is to actually start with this small community, try to crack it, offer 60% of the up to 60% of the products this retailer sells, and capture at least 30% of the retailers in this community. When we've actually cracked that, we've built like a very sustainable business model. Then we aim to actually scale across other communities within Nigeria. Then we can move to other countries. So we're currently in that learning phase where we want to finalize, ensure that our business model is operationally profitable. Even though we'll be spending a lot of marketing over the next 1-2 years, we want to make sure we have operating model, a business model that is operationally profitable from day one. So while we scale on marketing, we actually incur some losses, but we grow from there.
Okay, and one more question regarding the technology. Is this technology blockchain based?
When you say blockchain based, can you clarify a bit?
Are you using blockchain for your technology?
No, we've not explored it, but if you think it's going to be like a very good point for us, I'll be delighted to look into that.
Yeah. I'm saying this because since you're like trying to work as a marketplace, using a blockchain technology would be deliver transparency to your clients. That's why I'm just saying this.
Okay, that transparency is actually very key, and it's one of our key propositions to both the retailers and the manufacturers. Now that you mentioned, I think we've actually explored these based on the limited funding we're currently working with, but I'm sure that in the year 2021, it's something we should be able to explore, and if it works good for us, we would implement fully.
Okay.
Thank you, Luciana. Thank you, Team Trader Tent.
Thank
As
you.
I said, we are going to have a networking session after the winner announcement, so you can continue this conversation there. I know there were many judges with great feedback for Trader Tent and willing to talk to them as well. And now I want to invite Team Easy Trademarks and Judge Momina Ajazuddin. And please, Momina, if you can introduce yourself and give your feedback to Team Trader Tent.
Thank you, Diana, and hello, everybody. Thank you, Team Easy Trade. Just to introduce myself, I head the work that we do at the IFC, the private sector arm of the World Bank, on financial inclusion. And much of the work also, IFC and the World Bank is also about business licensing and procedures and trying to make things easier for emerging market companies. So I found this proposal very interesting. So just to give you some feedback in terms of what we thought as a judging team, we thought it was a very innovative proposal. It addressed important issues. It's scalable, we thought, as a solution. It could be applicable to a large number of emerging markets. But one of the issues was red tape, with officials having an incentive to maintain the status quo. So it would be helpful for you to give some feedback in terms of how your solution really addresses the way that you could simplify the existing complexities in the current trademark process. As a judging panel, when we were discussing it, it seemed like to be complicated by regional differences or country-to-country regulations. Also, it wasn't clear that an online solution was any cheaper than going through a lawyer. One of the judges had seen a company called Carta, which was like a legally easily made company, which may be helpful for you to take a look at. Another question is whether it is subject to rules, whether your platform would be subject to rules for trademarks amongst different countries, and whether this would be an impediment for gaining scale. And we weren't very clear on what the implementation strategy would be. Lastly, I was really interested to see that it was, a Middle Eastern panel. So Bahia, Ruba, well done. There are very few companies. I've lived in that part of the world. I'm from that part of the world. So I was really glad that you had like a mostly women team from the Middle East, because you don't get that kind of representation very often. So well done you for, having, put that kind of innovative team together. So over to you.
Thank you very much. So to tackle your first question about, second question actually, about whether we're going to incorporate different regions. Yes, we will. I have experience with trademarks because I restructured a law firm that specifically works in intellectual property. So, and we file trademarks all over the world. The basic process is relatively similar across markets, but the nuances are country specific. So we will use our local partners to get over these humps. After COVID, a lot of the countries implemented digital transformations. So a lot of the trademark process is now online. But now you have an online trademark process, users who don't really know how to use it, and not a standard way to tackle multiple countries with one platform. Because we have our partners who know the process, we will be able to adjust our technology for each of these markets. The user will not really know, because they won't know they're answering this question because they chose this country, but this is what we will be doing on the back end. And if something is updated in one country, usually based on the intellectual property field, we see it being updated in other countries within 6 months, 1 year, and so on. So we won't implement very minor tweaks, but macro changes we will be implementing within our platform.
Yeah, no, and it's just useful to think about different kinds of companies or individuals that you would be working with, because some of these, it's very onerous and expensive for smaller companies, and especially like the mom and pop kind of companies or SMEs or even the micro companies to deal with this kind of issue. So it wasn't clear, like, how you would even target them, like how would people become aware of this product, because they're also not as digitally savvy. I mean, that part of the world, they're not as connected as they would be in other parts. So it's just something to keep in mind.
Yeah, you're right, 100%. One of our startup clients came up to us and told us, why don't you guys do this? A lot of our startup friends need protection elsewhere and they don't know who to go to. And yes, if you go to a law firm, they will tell you it will cost you $150. But after 2 months, it will not cost you $150. It will cost you $800. And it just keeps counting because it's billable hours.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Bayan, Ruba, and Momina. You can continue this conversation during our networking session. And now I'd like to invite the team Game Grand and the judge Luciana Tsukada. Luciana, please introduce yourself and give your feedback to Team Game Grand.
Hi, hello, hi. I already introduced myself, but I'm working for an international accelerator based in Chicago, and we are basically
third one was because we're females.
Sorry. And we are internationalizing businesses from Latin America and Europe to United States, starting from Chicago. So regarding Game Grand, sorry, it's a really good business. You pointed out about the $2 billion opportunity and your targeted market, which is only 5%, and it's like $62 million revenue, which is a lot. However, it's not clear how you plan your go-to-market strategy, and also I have other questions regarding your business model, but I think that it would be really good to understand your go-to-market strategy here.
Let me turn on the mic. Cool. So yeah, we're basically already on the market. We are hosting B2C tournaments for people who want to just come in the site and pay and compete. And we are also hosting, it's been like 20 now, university tournaments in Argentina that we plan to expand to the region. Basically what we see, those tournaments are also paid mostly by sponsors. What we see is those tournaments will help us expand through the region and have the credentials in regards to new players, coming from the B2C. It always helps to show big brands and universities, like kind of showing we are to be trusted, basically. And so, yeah, that's kind of our go-to-market strategy.
Okay, but do you plan to work with other countries, or you're just planning, because you're saying that you aim to work with Latin America? So by now you're working in Argentina, right? So do you plan to expand your business to Latin America?
Yes, 2021 we should be expanding. We're aiming towards Chile and Colombia first, and maybe then Mexico. But this year, since we just started, we wanted to focus and polish the business in Argentina before moving on to other markets in the region. But it should be fairly easy since the payment gateways and all are already supported there. So it's just a matter of phoning universities right now.
Thank you so much, team. Thank you, Luciana. Sorry, we have to rush for the other feedbacks, but we can also always continue the conversation afterwards. So thank you, Team Game Grand. Now I'd like to announce Team Human Leap and Judge Momina to give them feedback. Momina, if you can please briefly introduce yourself before giving your feedback to Team Human Leap.
Yes, of course. Hello, Team Human League. Sorry, I'm just putting up my notes. So thank you very much for submitting this. My name is Momina. I'm based at the IFC in Washington, D.C., which suddenly seems like a lighter place in the last 10 minutes. The people screaming outside of my door. So I think we really liked, from the judges, we really appreciated how you had framed the problem. More and more customers will want to know the supply chain of products that they are buying, and the visuals and the way that you presented was very good. I think there was a compelling business case in terms of the growing response from consumer industries and retailers. I think as it is an existing business already, it would be important to get a view from you. Sorry. In terms of how you, you explained why you need funding to expand. It's part of a major technology trend. You demonstrated the proof of principle. The question we came away with was, what other food products could it be expanded to? And what is the potential risk from growing competition from other businesses that are addressing the issue of supply chain transparency? We were unclear a little bit about why B2B traceability requires a blockchain solution. So maybe you could explain that a little bit more. The problem seems to lie more in the digital adoption and different parts of the supply chain. It would also be good to understand what the next steps are in terms of business strategy, why a company would be willing to live with this or use this product. And what, if anything, is the monetization strategy or, gaining supply chain revenue? So the way I was also thinking about it, we work at the IFC with many of these large companies like MasterCard and Ant and et cetera, on some of these supply chain solutions, and it is quite difficult to reach scale. So, your feedback in terms of how your company would reach scale as opposed to others would be helpful. All right, over to you, but well done, and thank you for your submission.
Well, thank you, Momina, for your questions. I'm gonna answer thoroughly each one. First, the potential market here is huge. We're talking about solely in Colombia, about a $2 billion market regarding all commodity goods. We're talking since coffee, of course, which is the main source of exportation here in Colombia, but we are currently submitting proposals to do the same to alpaca wool in Peru, and could be used in other main sources, such as cocoa, such as milk, such as pharmaceutical goods as well. Why we're talking in a broad market strategy? Because, and here is the answer for the second question, we are allies of two main sources. First, IBM Solutions, which is a permission blockchain hyperledger-based solution, and we are currently the only business partners in Colombia that are emphasizing and enhancing the adoption of their solutions here. In soon area, we will be in Peru, Mexico, and Chile as well. The second scenario is we are ally of an Ethereum Enterprise Alliance as well. And we have built a baseline protocol with which is Radish built base. We are deploying a solution there as well. So we have two main sources, open source solution and permission blockchain based. Second, how are we, it's going to be our revenue stream? We stated in the video clearly. First is an implementation fee. We have made a research about how the entire companies are, especially IBM and SMEs, are costing these kind of implementations, and we see the average of implementation is $50,000, $50K to $100K, depending on the size of the company. We're focusing mainly in a B2B solution for 40 million average revenue stream companies. That's our prospect. So we are going to do that strategy to implement that. We are forecasting that for 45 million export company in coffee, in the coffee industry, we can achieve a saving amounts of $200,000 annually, and that's our added value, and that's how we are, convincing our clients in the transparency that could bring blockchain solution, and of course in the efficiency driven transformation that will lead our implementation. So our scale strategy is to serve as implementators of a big tech solution such as IBM or Ethereum Enterprise Alliance. We are not competitors of them. We are enhancing the adoption of the networks here in Colombia, of course, but in Latin America as well. That's why we are asking the investment proposal, and that's why we achieve in a 2 years horizon to do at least double our value, because currently we are encompassing to start business in Peru. So yeah, we think the commodity business market is huge right now, not only for agricultural products, but here is a wide spread, a wide margin of products such as I mentioned, pineapples, cocoa, quinoa, whatever product here in South America. So yeah, that's our main strategy. I don't know if I'm correctly answered your question.
Thank you so much, Tim. We don't have more time, but we can continue the conversation during our networking session. We need to bring our next team now, Team Open Tabs. And thank you so much, Team Human Leap. And to talk to Team Open Tabs, I like to invite Judge Luciana Tsukada. So Luciana, I know you already introduced yourself to the other teams, but if you can please give a brief introduction to Team Open Tabs and your feedback, please.
Okay, thank you. I represent an international accelerator, IDL, and based in Chicago, and we internationalize businesses from Europe and Latin America to United States. So I think the idea and solution using a free web browser extension to collect funds was wonderful, and the purpose is also compelling, and I will say my questions. So I saw your website, but you have a report, but it's not clear how you manage to how the microloans funded are funded from the use of tabs. How are these credits tracked, confirming they indeed helped the entrepreneur? How the microloans are repaid, and how do you track the trees plantation after you use those funds to plant trees? How do you measure the results you provide to the communities and to fight poverty and help sustainability?
Yeah, actually, thank you for that question. So the way it works, I mean, right now, every user generates about 10 cents a month from just opening tabs. And that money, we actually have partnered up with Ethic Hub, and we also use another platform called Kiva to provide these microloans. And the way that it works is they're basically microlending platforms where you have direct access to a huge pool of candidates, and you donate them based on different criterias. And then once they pay it back, which is typically within 8 to 18 months, we get those funds back, and then we partnered with the Rainforest Trust, whereby we basically donate to them and they protect endangered rainforests around the world. So in that kind of like 3-step process, our users go from like opening tabs to helping fighting poverty to helping fight climate change.
Thank you. So do you work as a microloan institution? Like
no. So we're basically just developing the technology to fundraise, basically, and we're partnering with other NGOs as well to do the impact, especially from the point of view of scale. We've designed it from the beginning to be able to scale rapidly with our technology. And rather than being focused on directly making the impact, we make sure to partner with much larger institutions who can do this at a much more efficient scale.
Okay,
Thank you so much. Thank you, team. Thank you, Luciana. Congratulations on your initiative. It's brilliant. And I hope to talk to you soon after the winner announcement. And now I want to bring our last team, Team Safe Fruit. And to give feedback to Team Safe Fruit, I invite our judge, Rob Canizares. Rob, if you can briefly introduce yourself before giving the feedback to the team. Thank you.
Good morning, and thank you for your presentations. I am an old Cornell alum. I was president of MSA International. I retired about a few years ago, and I've devoted a lot of time to Cornell, including the EMI and the Johnson School. But I think the most pertinent experience relative to you guys is that I am a mentor at the McGovern Incubator for Life Sciences, where Cornell technology is basically granted to companies to startups. And I lead an investment group of angels that has invested in several companies, and I've got a small company that has about 20 different private investments. First of all, congratulations on your presentation. I enjoyed very much the contribution to improving life for humanity. Saving all of that fruit and vegetables will go a long way towards helping feed a growing population, which is a long-term challenge. On your presentation, I think you did a terrific job of defining well what problem you're solving. You had a relatively clear definition of who the customer is, although I have some questions about that, and maybe refining that would also help. The solution is actually very compelling, but I think you did not fully exploit something that was in one slide about your patent. You didn't really highlight the value of patents, which is a way for you to show the uniqueness of your solution. As a matter of fact, in our discussion with some of the judges, some people actually sort of missed that. It was sort of subtle. The message was too subtle. I'm going to come back to implementation strategy at the end because I have some questions about that. But in making your case about why the company is a good investment, I think, again, you did a reasonable job, but you missed the opportunity to combine all the factors into a truly compelling case. Saving energy and refrigeration, the recovery of an enormous cost of loss of fruit, the ability to export to markets that you otherwise can't, etc. I think you need to, I recommend that you put that into a little economic model, and you have a comparison to the alternatives, but you didn't really have sort of an economic comparison of how you have an advantage. And then you can convert that into why an investor is going to be interested in putting money in so they can get some money out. The quality of the presentation was fine. And the only thing that I would like to ask you about is the implementation strategy. You referred to your partnerships with producers of certain types of vegetables and fruits, etc. But it wasn't totally clear how you intend to expand the commercial side, which are the targets, and then sort of what are the phases of implementation and the channels of your distribution. So that would be sort of the question that I would leave you to maybe explain to the rest of us.
Yes, of course. Thank you for your comments. About the implementation, we are trying to centrate our production system in one of the city's principal agriculture in Mexico. And then we are trying to distribute our products through people through companies who sell agrochemicals, who sell all the products that the fruit growers use during the process. So nowadays we have 4 distributors in Mexico located in 4 points of the country. And we are also trying to export our products to Colombia because one of our clients have good exportations there. So we now have 4 points of distribution here in Mexico, and we are expanding our products or we are exporting our products to Colombia. And about our clients, our principal clients are people who export fruits. All the people who participate in the logistic of fruits can buy our products, because fruit growers normally here in Mexico, they sell their products too. But people who have the principal pain in wasting the fruits are fruit exporters, because they are who have to extend the life of their fruits to arrive to new destinies. So here they are the principal clients for us, but we are trying to validate and to have consolidated cases of success of different type of people, of different type of clients, to see which is the principal archetype for us.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Rob. Congratulations to all the teams. It was a great session, and all the ideas are brilliant and very impactful, especially in emerging markets. And before I give the word to Rob to announce the winner of the pitch competition, I would like to pass the microphone to Moacir Miranda. He was the Dean of the Business School of University of São Paulo, and he was one of the partners who helped us the most during the ideation of this pitch competition. And that truly wouldn't be possible without the collaboration of all of our partner universities. So each university selected their finalist team to represent them in this competition. So please, Moacir, if you can tell us how was the process for you to participate both in the organization of the pitch competition, but also how it was for you to select just one team from University of São Paulo.
Thank you, Diana. Thank you. Hello, everyone. It's an honor to be part of the Academic Advisory Board of EMI at Cornell University. And I was in the board meeting past year when we suggested and Lourdes accepted to launch this initiative of the EMI Cornell pitch competition. I think it's a great achievement. It's a great opportunity for emerging market startups to be here all together, receiving amazing feedback, presenting itself to the audience for each other as well. And I think that this is part of a very important part of the work that EMI Cornell can do for emerging markets. I want to congratulate Lourdes and all the team for organizing this amazing pitch. I love the feedbacks you give by all the judges gave to the participants. And in Brazil, it was a tough decision. Tissue Labs is an amazing startup. We love them. We do believe they will be a huge global success. No doubt about that. Congratulations to the Brazilian team, and good luck, not just for Tissue Lab, but for everyone. I'm absolutely sure the judges have done a great job, and we all are very anxious to know who is the first winner of the EMI pitch competition. Thank you very much, Diana. All the best.
Thank you. Thank you, Moacir. You're right. The judges' feedback were super valuable. They are very experienced investors and entrepreneurs. So we are so lucky to have all our judges helping us in this competition. So thank you again to the judges. And now, Rob, please, if you can announce the winner of the pitch competition and the winner of our $10,000 cash prize, remembering that the evaluation was made based on the pitches. So we're not counting the feedback for our evaluation, and our prize is just a cash prize. It's not a financial endorsement. Cornell, it's not gonna buy equity in the winner startup. So Rob, please.
Well, thank you very much. And again, congratulations to the organizers. You guys did a terrific job. Congratulations to all the teams. It was a hard choice. The judges deliberated and argued, and we finally settled on the winner. But I want to confirm what Diana said. As you can imagine, the actual decision to make an investment goes way beyond the pitch. Once you get in the door with your pitch, like now, investors like us actually go through a due diligence process, which may take 3 to 4 months of tremendous amount of analysis and questioning and challenging and learning about you as individuals, because one of the key criteria for investing goes beyond the idea, beyond the program, beyond the plan, and it has a lot to do with the capabilities of the actual implementers. And so Cornell's disclaimer, which is on the certificates that everybody will get, is not meant just to be to comply with the lawyers, but is to recognize that this is only the first step in what would be a long investment process before you actually get money from investors. So we would appreciate your respecting the fact that this competition, while it's a distinguishing feature and it does recognize the work you did, it reflects only the capability of putting together a plan and presented it in a pitch. It is not an endorsement or a recommendation to invest. I wanted to reinforce that, Diana, before we went ahead. So the judges actually selected the winner as Save Fruit Corporation from Tecnológico de Monterrey, and we present our congratulations to you. And
no, thank you very much.
You'll get a certificate. Diana, can you show the certificate, or is that screen?
I don't have it right here,
Well,
but
let me see if I can show Ricardo, because I'm sure he wants to see it. Let me just raise the image here. So your certificate will, will look something. Whoopee. See again.
No, yeah,
Anyway,
I already know it's just a little.
It's a little too bright. Well, let me move it back. But if you're going to get a certificate like this, your name and your company will be there. And as Diana said, you will also get the prize for this competition, which is $10,000. Congratulations. I invite all the judges and all the participants to do a virtual applause for the winner.
thank you so much, Rob. Congratulations, Team Safe Fruit. You were amazing, well-deserved, and I can't wait to talk to you more during our networking session. If you are attending the conference and you want to be part of the networking session with the startups and the judges, please send me an email. It's on the chat. And now I'd like to give the word to Mumuksha.
Thank you, Diana, Lourdes, and the entire team of the pitch competition for putting this together. Many thanks to the judges and the partner universities as well. Congratulations to the winning team, Save Fruit. Maybe we can again virtually applaud for the well-deserved team.